If you liked Yevgeny gameplay, you would definitely like Cassha. Her main source of damage comes from retaliation. Thanks to her talent, she can dual machine gun when retaliating, allowing her to deal heavy counterattack damage. She can also gain quick draw stacks, letting her attack first, similar to Yevgeny. This makes her especially strong in the niche mission with AP handicaps, where we don't need to spend too many action points on direct attacks. Although she is a raider, Cassha can also protect allies from assault and range attacks. Additionally, her passive allows her to activate Special Link Retaliation Attack. If Cassha cannot retaliate herself, other allies with range can retaliate instead, for additional team damage. If you like Naomi's gameplay, you will like Arthur. She can activate link attacks for your allies, even for pilots who normally don't have link skills. Similar to Emily or Allison's 5 AP skill, and when using it, she can also enter aiming mode. Arthur can support up to 3 link attacks per turn. Her skill also applies lock-on effect to targets. Once enemies are marked, Arthur can hit them regardless of distance, almost like having free mini radar backpack passive. She works especially well in combo setup with DPS pilot like Asuka or Ada, who don't need armor or damage backpacks. She is also strong for turn 1 strategies. Jump in with the fighters to engage, then let Arthur follow up to finish off mark targets. Remember how Frida works with her load raid skill. This pilot functions in very similar way, but as a fighter using swords. Once she activates her main skill, she can re-attack unlimited times, attacking as long as she has AP available. This allows for massive burst potential in single turn. However, unlike Frida, she doesn't have unlimited guns. That's the downside. Some bosses can destroy her arms very quickly, but thanks to her A3 talent, she gains 1 free gas every 3 turns, improving her survivability. Additionally, when she destroys a target, she gains stacks. These stacks increase her damage and dodge rate, important for survivability. They also grant her the ability to parry incoming melee and range attacks. Most of her damage comes from initiating combats, so damage backpacks are a strong option for her build. She also has a code skill that is useful against group of enemies and can ignore guard, giving her some flexibility in multi-target situations. Smiths, we don't really need another mechanist, and he isn't strong overall as a Melissa or Lorna. However, he brings some unique utility to the team. For example, if you send a pilot alone and that pilot would normally be destroyed, Smiths can save them. He teleports that pilot to himself instead of letting them get eliminated. This acts as an extra revive mechanic, but it can only be activated once per battle. Another unique skill he has is ability to remove enemy terrains. That is very rare and actually cool effect for mechanists, especially in the stage when terrain bonuses are heavily influencing the fight. So if you don't need mechanist plus guardian like Typhus, he can save your slots for pilots if needed to remove enemy terrain and only bring mechanist. Fregata. Thanks to her unique talent, Fregata can share the same range across all equipped weapons. For example, if you equip Flamethrower, which can reach up to 4 range, your shotgun will also gain the same range. This gives her a flexible assault weapon setup. Since she is a raider, it's normally difficult to trigger re-attack from neural drives because of not having move condition. However, thanks to her unique jump skill, which, by the way, share the same range as her movement. She can move, jump in, and then re-attack, without needing to fulfill the usual not move condition for neural drives. This makes her much more consistent at activating follow-up attacks. Her 6 AP skill deals insane damage and grants very strong buffs. The downside is high AP cost, but she can gain AP stacks, which reduce her AP consumption. Additionally, thanks to her talent, she can move 3 tiles after combat for hit and run strategies. New Rosa introduced a brand new tactical weapon type to the game, one that is equipped as a backpack. Rosa gains Awakening State, and each level increases her potential by granting increased mobility, increased damage, additional AP recovery. She gains 1 Awakening level per turn. Normally takes time for her to reach full power. Once she reaches Awakening level 5, she can enter Valkyrie mode. However, if you upgrade her to A3, she can start the battle already in Valkyrie mode on the turn 1. While in Valkyrie mode, Rosa gains all effects from her Awakening State, additional Valkyrie mode buffs, which is the first attack each turn costs 1 less AP. If she destroys a target, she gains additional re-attack. With re-attack effect, she can attack up to 3 times in the single turn, making her extremely powerful burst DPS pilot. In my honest opinion, for Rosa Judgment, we going all in for A5, no question asked. If you liked Natalia's gameplay, you will enjoy Paloma as well. She can enter special rack mode, which initially lock her into facing one direction, but she can reposition or change direction if needed. She has line AoE sniper attack that can aim and hit the body for all enemies in the line. Every hit deals the same damage. She can trigger re-attack without needing to destroy a part. Her signature skill is very flexible. It can hit multiple targets, or if single target, then strike 5 times. Thanks to her talent, once she collects stacks, she can constantly land critical hits. She gains damage reduction, allowing her to survive more than just 1 or 2 hits. If you don't mind that she uses heavy type ST, she is very strong addition to sniper collection. She's on my list on non-meta pilots worth pulling. Fun gameplay and strong enough, even if she is not considered top tier meta. Matilda. She is one of the best raiders in the game. Thanks to her incredible high skill damage multiplayers, she can easily deal 100k plus damage in a single attack, and that's without Mary or Rosemary buffs. Single but devastating playstyle. She is very easy to play, with only 2 major offensive skills. Skill 1, a powerful single target attack, massive burst damage. Skill 2, a strong AoE attack that deals insane damage to all enemies in range. Thanks to her talent, if both hands remain intact, she gains access to 4-range heavy machine gun. She can also activate buff that increase her range further, extending to 5 range for heavy machine gun. Matilda is a must pull in my book. Rosemary, another strong tactician pilot who uses rocket launcher. Does this mean she replaces Irene? No! Unlike Irene, she cannot leave board terrain. However, she shifts into more dedicated support role and becomes strong competition for Mary instead. Rosemary provides excellent team-wide support, can buff one ally, increasing their funnel damage, can boost all allies' mobility, good for rush strategies, and can increase damage for all allies. Her skill can also apply buff for all allies after she attacks with her rocket launcher. Thanks to her talent, for each stack gain, her talent passive increase team damage even more. Comparison to Eileen, she cannot leave burn terrain like Eileen, but her personal damage is higher than Eileen's, and her team-wide buff potential is stronger. This makes her one of the best support pilots in the game. Adele, Queen of Fixed Damage. She was underrated on CN at release, but later climbed the tier list as the players realized her true potential. On CN, I personally max her on day 1 because I love the gameplay. She's one of the pilots who benefit from special backpack, because weapon switching can reset her command skill. She can use her flying skill twice in the same turn. Adele resolve around her blazing flame mechanic. All her attacks apply kind of special bomb stack, and at the same time they detonate, dealing massive fixed damage. She isn't absolute best against pure single target bosses, but she still performs well. Why? She can re-attack after moving with her flying skill. She leaves burn terrain, that result up to 3 instances of fixed damage per turn. If you like Erisa, you will love Adele. She is basically Erisa 2.0, more mobile and more consistent with fixed damage combos. Okay, Fighter, medium type ST, Mechanist backpack. Wait, what? Yep, that's him. A fighter running Mechanist backpack wielding a chainsaw as his main weapon. Have you heard the saying about cats having 7 lives? With the right setup, thanks to his passive and talent, he is extremely hard to destroy. If his arms are destroyed, he can auto-repair them. If his body is destroyed, he triggers God's effect and repair. If Ada and Aynis try to execute him, nope, he can block execute passive. Huh? You won't take him down easily. He is amazing in PvP, where survivability and clutch mechanics matter most. In PvE, he is still very solid, especially as a mid-shield that refuses to die. High risk, high reward. The lowest his HP, the stronger he becomes. One of his skills even trade HP for self buffs. Most importantly, he can aim the body parts and deal insane damage. He is Berserker style fighter who plays on the edge. Ada. We could talk a lot about her kid, but honestly, her performance speaks louder than words. Just save your tickets for Ada. She is a killing machine. She can solo boss stages, she can wipe entire waves of mobs by herself. She dominates in both single target and AoE content. She can act again without destroying a part, once per turn. Her AoE skill can aim each target separately, completely ignoring the tank. This makes her very strong in both PvE and PvP. She has the same execution skill as Aynis, which counter God's passives, and deletes low HP body enemies instantly. She is one of my top recommended pilots, together with Rosa Judgment. If you're planning long term, save your pulls, max these two pilots. They are built to stay top tier for long time. Some players ask the devs for Pochi 2.0 and we got Sepientia, but she is more than just copy. Multifunction robot, can attack enemies, protect allies from range, assault and melee attacks, deal fixed damage through retaliation, act as a positioning tool, allow pilot swapping similar to Ray mechanic, can provide 2 AP to your main DPS pilots. The robot also works like an antenna, allows healing from afar if the team is split. makes her feel like a budget Melissa in terms of long-range healing. So simply by deploying Sepientia, you gain semi-guardian unit, AP recovery, positioning swapping utility, long-range healing. On CN, until 3.0 patch, Sepientia is considered the third best healer in the game. She's good to have, but not must pull since Lorna, Melissa still hold the top spots. But definitely solid addition if you want to have Pochi 2.0. Veronica, light sniper pilot who can debuff. She's not the easiest pilot to play if you want to optimize her full combo potential, but once you master her mechanics, she becomes extremely strong. Just look at how she can handle 4 mobs alone without support. That's say enough. She can re-attack without destroying a part. She can enter enemy mode before attacking. She can hit up to 3 targets in the single attack, which each target aim separately. She is Sylvie 2.0, but not cheap like Sylvie. But keep in mind, things will change, mostly because the time we get Veronica, pulling A0 won't do much to your team when you have maxed Asuka or Rosa Judgment, right? Tired of Guardians who barely make impact? Enter Verna. She is not just a Guardian, she is a tactical nightmare for anyone who attacks her. Her signature skill? Mark and Punish. Every time Verna is hit, at the start of the next turn, she retaliates with a railgun strike. Attack her carelessly and you will essentially setting yourself for the punishment. What really set Verna apart is her ability to group enemies and target specific body parts. Even a weak, low investment Verna can destroy targets, and her railgun attack will always aim for body parts. In PvP, if you attack Verna, make sure you delete her in that turn, otherwise you are in the big trouble. And that's it for the showcase. Here is the updated roadmap up to 3.0 patch on CN. Keep in mind, this is the order they appear on CN, so global subject to change. A few key points. After Ada, I don't recommend pulling many pilots. This is because later in the roadmap, there are 5 very strong pilots in a row. The best strategy is to save your pilots and pick your 2 favorite out of the 4 upcoming pilots. Then invest heavily in them. There is no need to get them all, trust me. By this point in the game, we have many strong pilots. My personal approach is to focus on maxing or highly investing in 2 strong pilots, rather than spreading resources thin across all 4. Of course, this is just my opinion. This list is recommended pilots, not a strict guide. You can follow it step by step, pick selectively, or even ignore it altogether. Do what works best for your playstyle. What is green and yellow? This is 100% our pool, and the roadmap focuses more on the free-to-play. As you can see, breaks from pulling to have time to save your pulls. For example, Rosemary is a great support and strong pilots on the tier list, but she is before Matilda, which is more important, so up to you if you can save and decide to pull. There are many pilots whom I want to pull, like Fregata, Paloma, Rosemary or Adele. I will decide later and tell you in the guide for each pilot if I'm pulling that pilot. Thank you guys for watching, ask me any question as always, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye bye!